My wife and I have been married for over 30 years, but we started with nothing. People think she married me for money, but that's not true. At the time, I was in between businesses and lost my second business. So not only did I not have any money, but we had a lot of debt, $800,000 of bad debts. It was a great learning experience. In the end, we managed to pay it all off as soon as possible. How to pay your debts as quickly as possible. A lot of people say cut up your credit cards, but I think that is really ridiculous, because a credit card is not the problem. In fact, I love credit cards. Pay attention until the end of this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe here in Open Economics. Let's get started. 1. Step number 1. To tell the truth to yourself. I think that's one of the hardest things I had to do, because Kim never knew financial disaster like I did. She couldn't believe that someone could be driving a Mercedes and be completely broke pretending to be rich, until I got rich, you know. I was praying to God and Jesus and Buddha, hoping the money would come in and pretending I had no debt. I looked really good and ate at the best restaurants, but I was broke. And of course, you can't lie to her. So the first thing I had to do with Kim was to finally tell her the truth, that I wasn't as rich as I looked, but it's true. You have to tell yourself the truth, because if you have a goal of where you want to get to, you're not going to get there. If you've already got your place with step 1, let's move on to step 2. 2. Stop accumulating uncollectible loans right away. Sometimes that means you have to make a little sacrifice. When my wife and I moved from Hawaii to California, we were homeless and lived in a basement apartment. Sometimes we had to escape because we didn't have any money. We just had like $2 to get us through the weekend until I got home on Sunday night. 3. Make a list of all your debts. The key word is all. Who gave me a dirty look. When I said the word all, it was because I had a lot of debts and I didn't want to tell her. I kept dodging and paying bills here and there. But finally she asked me because I didn't want to tell her how bad the issue was. I called my last business, and finally we had to sit down and write out all the investors that I owed money to, as well as all the family and friends that I owed money to. I felt bad for not paying them sooner. So she made me sit down and write everything out, plus a credit card company can get really nasty when you don't pay them. So I had to show her the envelopes that I was getting and basically tell the truth and face the pace. 4. Search for an accountant. It is very important, and if you are deeply in debt, it is probably one of the most important steps to follow, and committing to hiring an accountant. There were times when I tried to do my own books, but when I was stressed, embarrassed, and upset about spending so much money, I wouldn't confront the truth. Plus, I felt like a mess and wasn't very detail-oriented. So Kim and I finally went to talk to my rich dad, and he recommended getting an accountant. At first I thought it was too expensive, but my stepfather told me that rich people have accountants, while poor people don't keep accurate records. 5. Make a list of your debts. Once you have a list of all your debts, you will create a visual image of those debts. Simply, in the upper left corner of the quadrant, you will write the name of the creditor. For example, Visa card. In the upper right corner, you will write the total amount owed. In the lower left corner, you will write the minimum monthly amount you must pay, and in the lower right corner, you will divide the total amount owed in monthly payments. For example, in the column for the Visa card, you will write minimum of $100 a month, total amount owed $2,000 owed, and 20 monthly payments. This means it will take me 20 months to eliminate this debt, since the total amount owed divided by the minimum monthly payment equals 20 for each debt. You will create this visual image and review it daily to know how many months it will take you to pay off each debt. It is important that you consult your workbook to make sure you have everything clear. When I met my wife, we had nothing. It took us 10 years to get from nothing to financial freedom. She was 37 and I was 47. Most of the people are so busy working for money, trying to pay their bills and buying liabilities, that they think they are assets. The first gift I gave Kim was to teach her this, and today we are financially free. Anyone can do it. It's a matter of putting their head in the right column. We met in the 73, and I took my first real estate investment course. I lost money and made it back, but I never left assets. There are many people who can't make $1,000, and the reason is because mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, they are not prepared to earn that amount. So now I'm making several $1 million, but I wouldn't have gotten there if I hadn't once had trouble getting to $1,000. 6. Determine in what order to pay debts. Determine the order in which you will pay off each debt, and this is where the small circle number comes into play. You will start with the smallest circle number. You have people often say, I shouldn't pay my highest interest rate first. I don't want to keep the ones with the highest interest rates anymore. But you don't necessarily have to do this. In this formula, what you want is to see a result quickly that tells you that this formula works. So we start with the shortest debt. You have the one you can pay off the quickest. When you see that result and prove that this formula is working, it will encourage you to keep going. So we start with the smallest number, as who says it's not about. When you look at the average person, they have a job and they get money coming in, they pay off the house and the money goes to a bank through a mortgage. This is not an asset because the cash is flowing out, so it is a liability. The definition of a liability is that it takes money out of your pocket, whereas an asset puts money in your pocket. So if I have a rental property, it puts money in my pocket. If I live in the house, it's a liability because even though I don't have debt, I still have taxes, depreciation, repairs, maintenance, insurance, and all this stuff. But if I rent a property and I've done a good job buying it and structuring it every month, it will send me money. I started in this when I was 25 years old. I had a small condominium property and I was putting $25 in my pocket. The debt was paid off, and so I was making money with my little house every month. Today my wife and I have 6,500 houses. We put money in our pocket every month. The people that live in those houses are happy because they have that place to live. But this all comes from debt. We have 100% financing. What makes a good debt is two very important words: cash flow. We became financially free instead of going back into debt or just spending the debt money on whatever. But like rich father, poor father, we play the cash flow game. What we do is we invest that money. In this case, with all that money, instead of spending it, we keep buying more real estate stocks and bonds. Basically what we do is we use debt to generate income and pay off our debts. Today, Kim and I have 7 cars, many houses, and we travel by private jet. But we do all this with the cash flow from our investments, not our credit cards. We have no debt but constant income that comes from our investments, so our assets are more than our liabilities. The reason why many people get into trouble in the first place is that they buy liabilities first and then try to buy assets later. This never works out, and they keep on buying liabilities, and then they keep on buying assets. I instead buy my liabilities with my assets so I can have a great lifestyle. The best thing is that we don't have to worry about money or anything because we just have more and more money coming in all the time. This process requires discipline and dedication. Remember, it is a process where you go from where you are to where you want to get to. If you don't have dedication and discipline, the process falls apart. So I encourage you to get involved in the process. I encourage you to share this with everyone to wake them up to the truth. If you want to continue learning about how to improve your finances and achieve wealth, I invite you to subscribe to Open Economics. In this channel, you will find valuable content on how to invest, save, and improve your personal finances. You can also learn from the experience and advice of experts in the world of business and finance that can help you reach your financial goals.